Good morning, and thank you for joining us for SBB Live. I'm your host, Amanda Barton, the publisher of Seniors Blue Book, and I have the privilege of sitting here today with Attorney Jeff Janeiro with the law offices of Jeff Janeiro. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself, and then we're going to ask a few questions today. Jeff?
Hi, folks. My name is Jeff Janeiro. I'm an attorney down here in Naples, Florida. I have been down here for about 15 years, so I could have bought, sold, and rebought everything down here for half price, as many of you, I'm sure. Amanda is one of my best friends, and I love Senior Blue Book. So you know a little bit about me. I have a firm presence here both in Naples and in Ohio. I'm licensed in Pennsylvania and Florida. I went to NYU for law school, as well as University of Toledo. I've worked for many firms and even some judges. So, but enough about me. On to you guys.
An extensive resume he has, for sure. So, Jeff, tell us, what is the Medicaid myth?
Well, the Medicaid myth really is that there is a 5-year look back that you cannot get around by any means. Many people know that there's a 5-year look back, and what ends up happening is those people say, well, there's nothing I can do. I'll just simply pay a nursing home facility for private pay for the next 60 months at $10,000 a month. That ends up being $600,000, and that'll be that. The problem is they don't realize that there's many other things that people could be doing that have no look back period. Look back periods are only for what are called preferential transfers, and Medicaid planning attorneys don't use preferential transfers. The most common example of a preferential transfer is I give all of my money to you, and and then I say that I'm broke.
Sure.
And the government says, well, what happened to all your money? Oh, I gave it to I gave it to my friend. Then they don't like that. But an example of what would be not a preferential transfer is if I pay her.
Yeah.
So if I pay her $100,000 instead of give her $100,000, the government says, oh, okay, well, she earned it. She gets to pay income tax on it, and off to the races you go.
Sure. And there's other spend down options, I'm sure, as well.
Oh, there's plenty of spend down options. And just so you know, every county and every state is different. So what works or does not work up in New Jersey has nothing to do with what works or does not work down here in Collier County, Florida.
So what was his famous quote in most of our SBB University talks is, don't listen to your neighbors that are from out of state, right?
That's right. Right, because they don't know anything about Florida.
Sure. So I know that, again, from a lot of our different talks, what is the most important legal document that someone can have in place?
In my opinion, the most important legal document lately has been properly drafted powers of attorney. We're seeing a lot of improperly drafted powers of attorney come across our plate, powers of attorney that are from out of state that don't apply to things here in Florida, and moreover, powers of attorney that are not enforceable in a guardianship. What I'm talking about is many people want to get their power of attorney to act if they have a guardian. If you don't have a properly drafted power of attorney, the court may not allow that power of attorney to act on your behalf. Pre-need guardianship designations are also something that we're seeing a lot of. There has been a resurgence in litigation over being a guardian, acting as a guardian, properly doing those sorts of things. So I would say that a power of attorney is more important in many instances than a will, a trust, even sometimes a guardianship designation.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen a lot of cases where the power of attorney can get you in trouble. So if you have an out-of-state document, you should definitely have that reviewed by a Florida attorney if you're going to be living here in the state of Florida, for sure. Right, Jeff? Absolutely. Okay, so I've also heard a lot of seniors say, well, my situation's different than others. So what would your advice be to someone like that?
Well, my advice to people is, again, don't listen to your neighbors and seek out someone's advice that knows your specific facts. If you have a poor relationship with family members, you need to make sure that your documents say something specific about that relationship, because there are plenty of people that are out there making a living off of, oh, I shouldn't have been left out of the will. It was a mistake by the attorney.
Right.
Mom and I got along so well. When's the last time you saw her? 30 years ago. That's why we got along so well. So make sure to talk with somebody, an attorney, your financial advisor, your CPA. Get those people involved if you feel that your situation is different than the norm. And the norm would be, everything goes to my spouse, if not to my spouse, to my one child.
Right.
In those situations, those are certainly simple things that can be handled relatively simply. Anything different than that, you're going to have some problems going down the pike.
Sure. So tell our viewers how they can get a hold of you, and why don't you grab one of those new
Well,
books?
the best way to get a hold of us is by looking us up in the Senior Blue Book. We have our ad right in the beginning. This is us. This is Attorney Kent Turner, who's at my office, and myself. And you can get a hold of us by calling 239-513-2324, or looking us up on the web at www.janeiro, Janeiro, law.com, or by looking us up at Senior Blue Book right here.
He's very excited because he's holding the very first copy to hit the streets.
Christine.
So you guys will be seeing these in your local CVS pharmacy, Walgreens pharmacy, Millennium Physician Group, and pretty much any other gathering place for seniors. Thank you so much for joining us for SBB Live, and I know Jeff's got one more thing to say.
And don't forget, if you bring in your Senior Blue Book and show it to us, we'll give you a free consultation.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Jeff. I
Thanks.
appreciate you
Take
joining
care.
us. Thanks for joining us for SBB Live. Click the link above to get a hold of Jeff and his team. Have a great day.